Hey Humvee fanatics, welcome back to the channel. So today, my plan is to get these cleaned up and primed and painted. So something I haven't touched yet. These are the grills that I plan on using, just for a little bit of a detail factor. These had a kicker logo on the actual outside of the grill. I have removed these. I do intend on putting them back on there just to kind of give a nice little subtle addition onto them. I think will make them look nice once they're painted. But anyways, these I haven't touched yet. I do want to prime and paint these as well, so I'm going to go ahead and scuff them a little bit with 400 grit just to kind of give me a nice little surface to deal with, and then we'll get these cleaned up and we'll start getting ready for prime. All right, stick with me. Alright guys, so the grills are all nice and scuffed up with 400 grit. They should be ready to accept prime and stick really well. So next we just need to clean everything off, make sure the dust is gone, make sure there's no oil impurities. Armor All or anything oil based would actually potentially prevent the primer from sticking well, so we want to make sure all of that's gone. So what I do is just a little bit of dish soap, hot water, and a rag, and just get me a good soapy water going, and then just scrub everything down. I don't want to get too much water. I don't want to soak them all the way down. The main thing is I want to be able to make sure I've got some good soap to degrease and take anything off there. And then we'll wipe them down with a nice little cotton towel and just set them over here to dry. And then we'll once they're dry, we'll get everything ready to start spraying primer. All right, stick with me. It's time to start mixing some primer. So I'm using U-POL System 20 primer. Well, it's actually a multi-stage. You can do this for primer and a primer surfacer, primer sealer, that kind of stuff. It all depends on how you mix this along with a reducer. So what I've got here is so I've got the primer itself and the fast hardener. What I'm going to do is it's a 4-to-1 mix for the high build primer, which is what I'm spraying at this point. So I'm going to do 8 ounces of the primer, 2 ounces of the hardener, and we'll mix it in and then dump it into the gun via filter, and then we should be able to go in here and start priming parts. All right, stick with me. Sanding with 400 and 800 on these just to get them smooth after the 4-1 primer. So I'm going to go ahead and do one quick layer of surfacer over the pods and the rings themselves, and then once that's done and dried, we should be able to lay paint. So when I do the surfacer, what I do is 4 parts primer, 1 part hardener, and 1 part reducer, which I have in the cabinet. Let me go ahead and get that mixed up real quick, and we'll get it sprayed. And we should be able to start laying paint down. And now the paint. So for the Rapco 383, I do a 4-to-1, so 4 parts paint, 1 part reducer. I just use the same reducer that I used for the U-POL primer. I did do a little bit of adjustment. I actually use a separate gun for this one, so I'm running a smaller needle. I think it's a 1.5. It may even be smaller than that, but I think it's a 1.5. I think the one I was using on the primer is a 1.8 or a 2. This one I think is a 1.5, and I did turn the pressure down. So I'm going to open the fan a little bit more so we get a little bit wider coverage. I don't want a lot of bleed, so I don't really want that over concentrate like I did on the primer. So I changed my PSI down, dumped that down to about 22 pounds, and that's typical that I spray at. So anyways, let me get this mixed up 4-to-1. I think we're gonna run 3 coats. So I think I'm gonna start off with 8 ounces of paint, 2 ounces of reducer, and let's see how far that gets. But I'm going to try to do this with 3 coats, and then maybe give it 15-20 minutes to get a little tacky on after each one. And then after that, we'll just let them dry, and we'll go from there. All right, let's get it done. Well, that's pretty well a wrap. We've got the pods all fiberglass sanded, primed and painted, and labeled and ready to go. So that's what they look like, or one of them looks like. So I went ahead and painted them the 383 green and the flat black as well, depending on where they're going to sit. So they've all got base of the 383 green, but depending on where they're going to sit in the truck, since I rolled the camo paint into the truck, depending on where they sit in the truck, they'll match. So they'll be flat black here, 383 green on the other side, 383 green up here, and then the flat black on the back corner, depending on where that color rolled into the interior from the exterior paint. So anyway, what'll be up next is running the wiring and getting these mounted. So, but thanks for hanging out with me and getting these done, and I'll see you guys on the next video, all right? Thanks a lot.